Hello friends, how are you? I hope you all are doing great. And it's good to see that a lot of people are loving these lectures, but still I'll request you people to share with maximum people, and if you have not yet subscribed to the channel, do subscribe it and press the bell icon so that you get all the notifications as soon as the lecture gets uploaded, right? So that you do not miss out on any of the lectures. Right, so what we have been doing, we have been discussing about the reconciliation between the costing and the financial books in non-integrated cost bookkeeping. So we discussed about some of the reasons that why there is a need for the reconciliation, why there are differences between the cost and the financial books, right? The reconciliation is required only when there is a difference between the cost and financial books, and why there is a difference, that is what we have discussed. How to prepare a reconciliation statement, that we have discussed in the last lecture, right? We discussed about the memorandum reconciliation account also, that and I told you that how to treat each item, how to identify that whether a particular item is to be subtracted or it is to be added. Then I told you that you can start with either the cost accounts or the financial accounts. If you are given both the cost and financial accounts, you can start with any one of them. Right, there is no hard and fast rule. The only thing is the treatment of other item is to be regulated as per the profit you are starting with, right? The profit with which you are starting means you are going to adjust that particular profit. Clear? It is always advisable to start with the costing profits and end as per the financial profits, because ultimately what we are going to adjust is the costing profits as per financial records, right? But as I told you in the last lecture also, in some of the books, especially in the CMA module, right, for the ICMAI students, the CMA students, in their module, they have always preferred to start with the financial books and end at the cost books. So you can start with any one of them. That is no issues at all. Right, because I've been often getting queries from the students that, sir, can we start with the financial, sir, can we start with the cost? You can start with any of the profits. That is absolutely your choice, right? Until and unless the question specifies. Okay, so if the question doesn't specify, you can start with any of the profits. That is totally your choice. The only thing is the treatment of other items should be careful, right? So now in this lecture, we are going to do the practical problems, because the conceptual part was over for reconciliation, and what we are left with is the practical part, right? So these are my practical questions. I have 4, 5, I think around 6 questions of the reconciliation. We'll try to do it. And this question file is available on our Android mobile app, right? And good to see a lot of people are interested in the SM series also. Sir launched the ICI SM series in English. That yes, we are coming up with very soon. For that, we'll recommend to download the Android mobile app or join a Telegram group, or both, right? The link is in the video description. For the mobile app, for the Telegram group, you can join the Telegram group. There is a specific Telegram group for the English batch, right? The link is there in the video description. KSJ Teaching English batch is there. So you can join that group also. Now, starting with the questions now. Sir, what I will do in this lecture is I will solve question number 2. Right, sir? Sir, why not question number 1? If you will solve question number 2, question number 1 will automatically get solved, right? So most of the points of question number 1 are covered in question number 2 also. Clear? So what we are going to do is we'll try to do question number 2. Question number 1, you will do it on your own. Do one thing. Pause the video here before we start with question number 2. Do question number 1 all your own. What you have to do is start with the cost account and adjust all the items, and you have to reach the profit as per the financial accounts. If you are able to reach that profit, that means your answer is absolutely correct. So I need not give any answer to that, right? If you are able to start with the cost account, adjust all the items and reach the profit as per the financial accounts, that means your answer is absolutely correct. No need for any answer. So we'll start with question number 2. From the following figures, prepare a reconciliation statement, right? One thing that you need to be very careful in the examination is whether the question is asking for the reconciliation statement or the question is asking for a memorandum reconciliation account. So be careful with these two things. Clear? Now, the information is given. Net loss as per costing records is given to us. Works overhead under recovered in the costing, administrative overheads recovered in excess. What is the meaning of recovered, sir? If it is given recovered, it means the absorbed, and absorption is done where? Absorbed in cost accounts. Great, sir. Depreciation charged in financial records and depreciation recovered in costing. Great. Interest received but not included in costing. Obsolescence loss charged in the financial records but not in the cost records. Income tax provided in the financial books. Bank interest credited in the financial books. Right. Stores adjustment credit in the financial books. Value of opening stock in cost books and in financial books. Value of closing stock in cost and financial books. Interest charged in cost accounts but not in financial accounts. Preliminary expenses written off in financial accounts and provision for doubtful debts in the financial accounts, right? So all these are the items. Again, do one thing. Again, pause the video and try to solve this on your own. Okay, take 5-10 minutes, try to solve it on your own, and then start with the video. I hope all of you have solved it, right? Or at least tried to solve it. That's great. Let's do it now. Let's start with it. What we are going to do is, I have the solution with me, right? I'll now start with one by one item. So reconciliation statement. See, the beauty of this question, you are given the loss as per the costing records, but you are not given the profit or loss as per the financial records. Isn't it? Read the question carefully. You are not given the loss or the profit as per the financial books. That means you have to start with the costing records only. You are forced to start with the costing records because you cannot start with the financial records. Why? Because the profit or loss as per financial records is not given. Clear? Any doubts? Okay. So the first thing is net loss as per the costing records, right? Net loss as per the costing records. So I have written it in the bracket because it is a negative figure. Clear? Now, sir, works overhead under recovered in costing. Now, what do you do with the works overhead if it is under recovered? Listen to it very carefully. What we are going to do is, he's saying works overhead under recovered. Works overhead under recovered. So we are going to take the costing books, right? And we are going to take the financial books. The same way as I told you in the last lecture that how to identify whether an item should be added or it should be subtracted. Now, say I have a profit of 1 lakh rupees. Now, this is just an assumption. Don't worry if there is a loss, right? The treatment is not going to change. So I have a profit of 1 lakh rupees. Now, what is the situation of under recovery? What is meant by this under recovery of overheads? That means, sir, the actual overheads are more than absorbed overheads. Where do you take these actual overheads? In the financial books. That means the overheads in the financial books is say 20,000. And the overheads that you have absorbed in the costing books is say 10,000. So what will be your profit here? 80,000. What will be your profit here? 90,000. Now we have started with the costing records, right? That means we will be adjusting this profit. If you have to adjust this profit, that means you will subtract this 10,000 recovery to match the profit of 80,000 with that of financial records, right? So that means this under recovered overheads will be subtracted from the costing profits, right? Let's see. Less works overhead under recovered 3120. Clear? 10,000 was just an assumption, so you have to take this figure 3120. Clear? Any doubt about it? Now, the next one, administration overheads recovered in excess. Now, what is meant by recovered in excess? What is meant by this recovered in excess? Now, sir, recovered in excess means there is an over absorption. Admin overheads. Admin overheads over absorbed. Right? Now, in this case, in case of over absorption, sir, your actual overheads are less than the absorbed overheads. Isn't it? Your actual overheads are less than the absorbed overheads. So that means in the overheads you have taken 10,000 and here in the costing records you are taking 20,000. So what will be your profit here? Your profit will be 90,000 here and 80,000 here. Clear? So now what will you do? You are adjusting your costing books. That means you will have to adjust this profit to match with this profit. If you have to adjust, that means you will have to add 10,000 rupees here to match it 90,000, that is with the financial books, right? That means in case of over absorption, you will add the items. See sir, add administration overheads over recovered 1700. Any doubt? Right sir, next part. So we are done with this, we are done with this, we are done with this. Next is about the depreciation. So regarding the depreciation, we will read these 2 points together. The first is depreciation charged in financial records is 11,200 and the depreciation recovered in costing is 12,500. That means in costing you are charging over depreciation, right? So in costing you are charging over depreciation, right? So this is my costing records and this is my financial records, right? So I have a profit, say 1 lakh rupees. Here also I have a profit 1 lakh rupees, right? Here I am saying depreciation overcharged in cost records. See, this question is the base, right? This question might not be asked in the examination, but it is going to provide you a very good base. Now, overcharge, that means here you are charging a depreciation of 10,000 and here you are charging a depreciation of 15,000. This is the case. Any doubt? Right? Am I correct? This is the case, sir. So in this case, my profit will be 90,000 and here my profit will be 85,000. That means I have overcharged this depreciation to the tune of 5,000 rupees. Now, what I am going to do is I am going to adjust this profit because I am adjusting my costing books. That means I'll have to add 5,000. This 5,000 means this is the difference of overcharging, right? I mean the difference of 15,000 and 10,000, right? So my profit is 90,000. Now it matches with my financial books, right? So the depreciation, the additional depreciation charged in the costing records, I'm going to add that depreciation, the difference of 12,500 and 11,200, depreciation overcharged, right? So this is what? Sir, this is the difference between 12,500 minus 11,200. Clear? So add back depreciation overcharged in cost accounts. Any doubts up till this point? I hope this is clear. Okay, so we have done this. Interest received not included in the costing. So that means this is a purely financial item. This is my interest received, right? This is my costing books and this is my financial books. So my profit is 1 lakh. Here also my profit is 1 lakh. I received an interest of say 10,000 rupees, right? Here I have not recorded the interest. Question specifically says that interest has not been recorded in the costing books. So my profit here will be 1,10,000 and my profit here will be 1 lakh rupees. Any doubts to anybody? Now I will be adjusting this 1 lakh rupees. Why, sir? because I have started with the costing profits and I'm going to adjust my costing profits. So if I have to adjust this 1 lakh rupees, what I will do, I'll add 10,000, right? So my figure will be 1 lakh 10,000, which matches with my financial records. That means the purely financial income I have to add in the costing profits, right? Sir, add interest received not recorded in the cost accounts. Clear? Absolutely clear up to this point. Next is obsolescence loss charged in the financial records, 5700. So there is an obsolescence loss, right? So there is a loss. Okay, we'll take it on the next page. Next is loss in financial records. So this is my costing record and this is my financial records. So my profit is 1 lakh rupees. Here again, my profit is 1 lakh rupees, right? So there is a specific loss, obsolescence loss, which has been recorded in the financial records, right? Charged in the financial records, but not in the costing records, right? Great, sir. So there is a loss of say 10,000 rupees and there is again a loss which has not been recorded in the costing records. So what is my profit as per the financial books? 90,000, right? And my profit as per the costing books is going to be 1 lakh rupees. Now which books I'm going to adjust? Sir, I'm going to adjust this book. That means I'll subtract this 10,000 here. So my profit is 90,000. So that means if there is a loss which is there in the financial books but not recorded in the cost books, means the costing profits are inflated. So we will subtract that. Clear? Let's see. Less obsolescence loss in the financial accounts. The next item is the income tax provided in the financial books. The similar thing, sir, instead of the loss, here you can take income tax. It is one and the same thing. You have provided for income tax in the financial books, but there is no mention of income tax, right? Income tax is what? You will be paying out of your profits, right? So if you are earning a profit of 1 lakh rupees and income tax you are paying 10,000 rupees, that means you are having the net profits that you will take home as 90,000. Right, but as per the costing records, you will take home 1 lakh rupees. So you will have to adjust this 1 lakh rupees. That means you will have to subtract it, right? So I have subtracted income tax provided in the financial books. Clear? Next is the bank interest credited in the financial books. Now there is an income which has been recorded in the financial books on the credit side. That means here you are showing an income of 1,000 rupees. Right? But this income is not shown in the costing records. That means your costing profits will be less, which have to be increased now to match with the financial records. So I'm going to add it. Right? Add bank interest. Similarly, for the next item, that is the stores adjustment credited in the financial books. Right? For the stores adjustment also, I will add it. Now, value of opening stock in the costing books is 52,600 and the financial books is 54,000. That means in the costing books, you have recorded it at a lesser value, undervaluation in the costing books. Right? Undervaluation, and I have already shown you overvalued opening stock, undervalued opening stock, overvalued closing stock and undervalued closing stock. We have already discussed in detail, right? So you can do it. Similarly, about the closing stock. Closing stock is overvalued. Now this is undervalued. Opening stock is undervalued, right, in costing books. And what about the closing stock, sir? The cost account show a value of 52,000, whereas the financial accounts are showing a value of 49,600. That means this is an overvaluation in costing books, right? Interest charged in the cost accounts but not in the financial accounts. Now this is different. Here he is saying interest charged in the cost account. Charged means it is being shown as an expense. So an expense is being shown in the cost accounts but not in the financial accounts. That means my costing profits are less than the financial accounts. I will have to increase them. I will add it. So over valuation is there, add interest charged in the costing books. preliminary expenses written off in the financial accounts 800. That means my financial profits are less, costing profits are more. I will subtract it, right? Last is provision for doubtful debts in the financial accounts. Again, the provision will reduce my profits in the financial accounts, whereas my profits in the costing books will be more. I will have to subtract it so that my costing profits are equivalent to financial ones. So net loss as per financial books is this much. Clear? This is how you have to prepare a reconciliation statement. So for the first few items, I have shown you how the treatment is to be done, like this, right? When you are into the practice mode, once you have gained the confidence that yes sir, we can do it, then after that no need to prepare this thing. This thing is to be prepared only when you have a confusion regarding an item, right? Otherwise no need to prepare this. Just go ahead with the straight away with the reconciliation statement. See, a simple trick to see, sir, which profits we are adjusting. The first thing, right, here we are adjusting the costing profits. Now the second thing that you have to see is, remember, is that whether my costing profit is less than the financial profit or not, right? If your costing profit is less than your financial profit, then that means you will have to add an item. If your costing profit is more than the financial profit, you will have to subtract that particular item, right? So you have to adjust the financial, this costing profits, right? The reverse is the case if you are starting with the financial profits. All these items will be reversed in that case. Clear? So what you should do is, I'll give you a very simple homework. Do one thing. This question number one, do it in both the ways. Both the ways means, first start with the cost account and end with the financial account. In the second case, start with the financial accounts and end at the cost account. Do it both the ways and try to understand the difference, right? And wherever you feel that you are getting a confusion, do this thing, simple, right? Prepare such accounts and try to understand, analyze that whether an item should be added or subtracted. What amount should be added, what amount should be subtracted specifically. I'm telling you, in case of under and over recovery, you should be very careful that what amount is to be added. Here you should be very careful, right? Because if here you are going to add 20,000, even then your profits are not going to match. Clear? So you should be very careful that which item is to be added. You have to add only the under or the over absorbed overheads, not the total absorbed overheads. Even I told you this point when we were discussing, we were having the conceptual discussion. Even at that point, I told you that you need to be very, very careful with, especially in case of under and over recovery of overheads. Clear? Any doubts? So we are done with question number 1 and we are done with question number 2. Now in the next lecture, we will be taking up question number 3 with you. Right? We'll see if you can, if we'll be able to do 3, 4, whatever we are able to do. See, now the next few type of questions can be, what can be the other type of questions which can be asked in the exam? Sir, normally a type of question is that either you will be given a financial trading and profit and loss account, right? Like in question number 3, I'll just giving you a hint. In this question, you are given the financial profit and loss account and you are given some additional information. The question says, prepare the cost sheet first. Try to find out. See, you have net profit as per financial records, but you do not have the net profit as per the costing records. So the question says, first calculate the profit as per costing records. If you want to calculate the profit as per costing records, you will have to prepare the cost sheet, right? And then he says, when you have got the cost, this profit as per the costing records, reconcile it with the net profit as per the financial records. So this is a full-fledged 10 marks question that can be asked in the examination, that has been asked in the past and that can be asked in the future also, right? So this is a full-fledged question that we have to discuss it in the next lecture, right? I hope whatever we have understood, whatever we have done in this lecture, you have been able to grasp it, right? Now I have given you the homework also, that you have to do question number 1 in both the ways, starting with the cost accounts, ending on the financial accounts. Method 2, starting with the financial accounts, ending on the cost accounts, right? And I hope this question number 2 is clear. This is the solution. If any one of you have missed it, you can write it down. This is the complete solution, right? So you can pause the video here, you can write down the solution in your notebooks. That is totally up to you people. Now in the next lecture, what we are going to do is we are going to do question number 3 first, right? So see you guys in the next lecture. Till then, stay safe, stay healthy. Thank you so much.